Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how some people are going to react. You can assess a situation, any situation, within seconds if you do this one thing, and that's observe. You have to really watch and listen, and most people don't. While somebody else is talking, have you ever seen the people that they just can't wait to talk? They haven't really listened to what you said. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about something you can do immediately that will change everything in your life within 24 hours. But there is a specific way you have to do this, which is the most challenging. It's actually what put my channel on the map years ago. And I'm going to share it again with you today, but it's become more serious. And that is, how do we control our reality? Because absolutely everything that's happening in your world, because it is different to mine. There's a collective, we'll talk about that too. It is totally controllable by you. And I'm talking about anything, no matter what your situation is right now. We're going to talk about using these powers more and more on the channel because basically I want to help you to break through the fears, because that is a low frequency thought that is producing results out there. How do you get around it? Well, let's talk about that right now. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fear and live an amazing life. Everything's a frequency, and it is neither right nor wrong. Now, I want to just ask you a question. When do we have difficulties? When is there a problem? When is there conflict? When is there anger? When is there anything that causes our whole planet to be really messed up? It is when someone who's on a lower frequency, that's service to self. It's about me, my world, what I want, what I believe. It's when you don't agree with them or do what they think, or you're not in alignment with their world. They believe that they are right, this is how things are, and that's separatism. That's a low frequency. I call it the basement of the mansion, and everybody's allowed up in the penthouse. It's not a private club, but it's a frequency. It is something you're dialed into, just like a radio station. You've heard this probably 100 times from many, many spiritual teachers, and that is, you hear what you dial into. It's just that simple. But yet, we have been exposed to so many things, so programmed along our journey here by other people who live in fear and service to self, that we have an imprint on us. Our whole energy field, that's what we know, that's what we think, that's our world. How do you get out of that? Because most people never come out of it because they are not in consciousness. Consciousness is what I just started the video about, and that is, you have to be aware. You have to be conscious that you're even doing it, or that that is the reason why things aren't going well for you. Now, if you have ever studied Neville Goddard, we're talking way back. Louise Hay, she's amazing. There are just certain teachers that teach the same thing over and over again. Now, they didn't talk about law of attraction. They didn't use those terms back then. That was coined quite some time ago. But I always tell you that there's no such thing as a law of attraction. That's actually made up. You can look that up. It was a made-up term when people didn't understand quantum physics and that we actually affect our own reality through our thoughts and attention to things. All right? Much more complex than that, but let's just keep to the basics. You can change the results of anything through your attention to it and what's behind that attention. What do I think and believe actually changes the result. Everything is one thing and connected. You know, when you split a photon and you shoot it out, I think it's 14 miles that they shot this photon. What they did here, this happened immediately. They said, faster than the speed of light. Well, I don't believe that was true. I believe that it just never was disconnected in the first place. You are not disconnected from anything. That's actually impossible. Because everything is one thing, and where does it stop and end? It doesn't, including our universe. It is beyond our comprehension. So if we are connected to everything, then we must be affecting everything. Then we must somehow be in charge through what we're doing, in charge of the results that happen out there, especially within our own life. Now, we cannot infringe on free will. So I can't make you do anything, but I can influence you. I can do certain things or say certain things or tell you a story to get you to believe. And that would be totally your choice, and that's how it works. So service to self says, oh, these, this is how things are, and did you know about this? And they can make up any number of things, and of course, which is what is going on out there. And if you're convinced enough, you can actually create that reality for yourself, and you will sit and argue with people about, reptilians are evil or whatever that's. I don't listen to that stuff. If we were in a universe that operated the way we do, we'd have been taken out a long time ago. Why? Humans wouldn't wait till somebody destroyed something beautiful to go in and say, well, we'll let them destroy everything and then we'll come in and take over. No, we'd take them out before that happened, right? That's how we think. But that hasn't happened to us. So there must be something quite benevolent in our neighbor's psyche and belief systems that is more loving than we are. Not to say that there aren't some ranges within that. Of course there are. Nothing is absolute except for source, which is all things, from the highest frequency to the lowest. Now, what are you choosing? You get to choose. So let's talk about that 24 hours to a total shift. How do we do it? So everything's instantaneous, like the photon. Boom, it's connected. But something had to occur to this half of the photon in order for this one to react the same way. They had to do something to it or threaten it, or it's usually something not nice. And this one reacts. Same thing with everything out there. It's aware of the other part of itself, no matter how far away it is. Time, space is irrelevant. So how do we handle this for our own little reality that we create? I cannot impose some violations. I can't impose anything against your free will. But I can control my own world. And if I want to disconnect from you because maybe you're being service to self and insulting, calling names, arguing, I can shift my reality and not include you in that space. But we don't have to disown or hate somebody else because they don't think the way we do. That is, again, a way of thinking that's going to put you in a lower frequency. So we want to stay in the high frequency of what we're trying to create. And it is not going to impose on somebody else. So there will be those who want to create a reality that gets other people to do things for them. It's a low frequency. It's going to backfire on you. And I always say, well, we know there was somebody in Germany who tried to pull that off and it didn't work out really well. This is how things should be. This is how you should look, how you should think, all of that. And that kind of dominance, it may work for a very short period of time, but it will implode on itself because it is not the natural state of things that is loving and inclusive. We are all parts of the whole. And if we don't celebrate that and understand how absolutely beautiful each of us is, and that we are not the human beings that we see, we're acting out an individual expression of that. If we don't recognize that, we will become attached and entrenched in something that is not going to last very long anyways. I mean, we're all going to leave here, and not here actually all that long. So what are you going to do with your time here? Let's change it. We have to shift our thinking. Now, I did a video called 3 Seconds to Manifest Anything. I started with 10 seconds and I kept timing. How fast does it take you to go from this thought and shift over to this one? And I kept timing it. It got to 2.8 seconds. So I said, call the video 3 Seconds to Manifest Anything. But here's the question is, how do you do that? Well, you have to be conscious enough to catch the negative thought. And you have to have a positive one ready. Okay? And it's not something that's in the future, because you don't attract anything. You either are it or you're not. The Bible says, know that it is done. Not like, pray for it and that thing out there will come to you. You know it's done. You are already it. So there's nothing to attract. You're just shifting into it. In other words, you shift into the frequency of that which you want to participate in. How do we do that? If you're still here and you're going, come to me, classical music, I'm going to listen to rock and roll, and then you're blasting. By the way, nothing wrong with rock and roll. I love rock and roll, but if you're blasting rock and roll, you're never going to hear the classical music if you don't tune into it. And we have to tune in, and that means we have to go into consciousness. So consciousness means that I'm aware all the time of my thoughts. You've got to catch them. Meditation is going to help you to quiet the thoughts down. All right? The more you go into meditation, and I suggest guided meditations. Louise Hayes has some really great ones. She's got a great voice and beautiful music. You can actually do sleeping meditations. She has them for hours with no ads. And so you can put that on, and so your subconscious will hear this beautiful music of her saying these wonderful, beautiful things, how empowering. And those are good ways for you to actually have a focus on something else other than your own chatter, right? So it sort of takes over, and it's calming. You should do it also while you're awake, and start to just train yourself to be aware of the thoughts and watch them go by. But be aware of what those thoughts are. That's the most important part, is why am I having that thought? I'm programmed. Maybe I've been around this. Maybe I'm in service to self and I'm in fear. And so, I constantly find fault with the world and other people. You don't think the way I do or believe what I do. And then so you just make yourself unhappy. That's all. You're doing it to yourself. So you'll live in a world where nobody's going to play with you. They're going to take their toys and go home because you're no fun. If you want to make these changes, something you can think about right now is, what is that thought I can go to that's really beautiful? And it can be just one thought you can go to, and you can do all kinds of thoughts, but choose one to start with, because it'll be easier for you. Choose one, and then when you have a negative thoughts, just catch yourself and say, oh my gosh, I don't hate anybody. I love everyone. Everyone's beautiful. I'm unlimited. I'm perfect. There's nothing wrong with this. This is my human experience, and I need to celebrate this. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is not who I want to be, and release it. So you could do something like that. Or you could go over to New Thought and just say, all things are possible. All things are perfect. And I ask for the guidance that takes me to what is best and highest for me. That's a real nice one. Now, what I want you to understand is the universe of all intelligence, the quantum field, which is source, is all things. It's the power of all things. It's the intelligence of all things. Even the space that seems to not have anything in it is not empty at all. All of that is intelligent, okay? All of it is intelligent. So when you go into this field, you are absolutely creating at all times. And what I want you to remember is that you are on a journey here, and you're not to avoid anything. You're to take everything and understand that the quantum field is constantly expanding. It's creating at all times. It never stops. It's not stagnant at any one point. So it's always expanding. It's always creating. It's always giving. It's giving, giving, giving. So it's always giving you best and highest, but not if you aren't thinking that, then you're ordering something different. It doesn't judge, so it just gives. So I just want you to remember, the universe, the source, wants nothing but beauty and love and compassion and abundance and health for everything and everyone. That's the source of what it is. But you don't have to choose it if you don't want to. It loves you enough to allow you to go ahead and be destructive for whatever reason. You need to learn something from that. So when you understand that it's always going to just give because it's what you're ordering. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Have you ever seen Wayne Dyer? It was awesome, man. He says the universe always says yes. You know, oh, I'm so stupid. Yes, because it just gives with no judgment. So it's there to please you. And if you're ordering something negative, then there must be a reason for it. And when you're tired of doing that, you can change it. And then it says yes. So remember, it's always wanting to give you the best and highest, but it will never violate your free will because you are the source that gets to explore the craziness. So you learn from it. You know the contrast of it. You know what it's like to pull out of that. You know what it's like to be challenged by that. So just remember that. It's not going to give you something that you're not asking for, because it doesn't, that's not what it does. You and it are the same thing. So if I'm thinking it, it's giving me this because it is me. All right? So it's not going to say, no, you really don't want that. I'm going to give you this because it's better for you. Now you can ask for what's best and highest. That means you got to let go of the other negative stuff you're thinking of. So the 3 seconds to manifest anything is when we go from going into consciousness, constantly, all day, catch yourself, switch over, switch over, switch over. And you will recondition your mind and you will start to see things showing up. And so don't go back into it. So a lot of times we'll go back, oh, I wanted to win the lottery, it didn't happen. Oh, this doesn't work. And you're like, okay, there you go again. And you have to have faith. Faith is there's no time and space. It all exists at once. And so just, buckle up and, know that everything exists for you and you can order it, but you have to let go of all the other stuff. You can't place this order out here and then be thinking this. You have to condition and shift over all the time. Catch yourself all the time. So that's why I said, if you're going to bed and you're laying there and it's negative, put in some earbuds and go to sleep with something super positive that you resonate with that talks. Nice, quiet. You'll go into this beautiful slumber and you'll have these beautiful dreams because they're talking about you are perfect. You are abundant. The one source loves you. You're like, and this is like, oh yes, you might have amazing dreams, who knows? So I think we need to start working more on this because what you do affects me. And so when we turn on each other, then there are forces of service to self that love that. Yeah, come on, because they're disorganized when they're arguing with one another. I just saw an interview with somebody who defected from a country, and she said, my country that I came from, she's here in the United States now, loves it when Americans fight with one another. They encourage it, and they plant stuff over here so that we'll fight with one another. Why? We're disorganized, right? We accomplish nothing with that. Ask yourself why you have to insult somebody or have them think what you do. That's basement ego. It doesn't serve you very well. You can continue to do that, but the results aren't going to be very nice. If you open yourself up and say, I don't have to be right, and if this person insists they are and they want to correct me, so be it. You're allowed your opinion too, but when it starts getting nasty, what is that? That's a control tactic that the ego is in, and then catch yourself and say, wow, I didn't mean that. I don't have to be right because everyone's right. If you think it and believe it, it's right. I don't have to impose my opinions on somebody and tell them that they're wrong. We can have conversations, but we don't have to always be right. It doesn't matter. So shift those thoughts in and step back and just be conscious and observe. And I see people and I'm like, I know if I poke them a little bit, it's just going to come out. And sure enough, it always does. Sorry, it's sort of entertaining. And they go off the rails, you're stupid, or what are you thinking? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Just that anger sitting there. And it's not healthy. And we can catch that and stop it because there's a wonderful world waiting for you. And within 24 hours, if you can do this, if you can stay on it and catch every negative thought, it's going to take a lot of work for some of you. For others, maybe not so much. And just know that no matter what's going on in that world, you can change anything in your life. It doesn't matter what's happening. You personally can be the person that flourishes, that's healthy, that has amazing relationships. Just wonderful things can happen for you. And you serve others better when you are in that position of wealth and health and joy. Then you can share that. That's when community is powerful in the material world. We'll share it, not hoard it, like self-service to self likes to have power and stuff to serve itself. It's not usually very giving. All right, if it's on a low frequency, if on a higher frequency, you're going to see a lot of giving going on. So I hope this was helpful. Any of you who are looking to create an online business that is service to others, digitalexplorers.net is based on that. We're creating planet conscious businesses from scratch, and we start with the thing you love most, and we create something really unique for you, and then we monetize it, we research it, we put a business strategy. You'll learn how to be an actual business owner. We actually put business strategies together, and so you treat it like any business, successful one, and that's why most of the online businesses go down. So we become the responsible business owners that allow consumers to make higher choices, because a lot of people, it's inconvenient for them. So instead of blaming them, let's find gaps in the market. Let's find higher, better things to offer people out there. And of course, part of our training includes charitable giving. There's some amazing things happening online. So if you want to participate in that, I have a free webinar that takes you through the 5 steps to success, and we can participate in this new world and focus on the higher thoughts, focus on the giving, focus on things, and it feels good, and you're going to change your life. It's like a self-discovery trip, and that translates into business. So that's down there, along with all kinds of businesses that I support that make amazing, sustainable, vegan products, no plastic. Microplastics are in everything. Everything, and if you're using it, you're the problem. You're the problem. It's not easy. You know, it takes effort to go find things that aren't in plastic, but you can do it. You can do it, and there's a lot of stuff down there that doesn't come in any kind of plastic, and you clean your whole house, your body, your hair, everything, and never have plastic. Your teeth, and I've got discounts for you guys. Let's pool together. Let's get together in every area of our lives to change the world out there with our choices, our thinking, all of it. You can do it, and we're going to go into some amazing times. And yes, there's a cleanup period. There's gonna be a little chaos there. That's okay. Buckle up, because once you get through it, it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be worth it. So I hope you'll subscribe. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.